Hi everyone, and welcome to the third and final broadcast in our live series, HR from Home, Keeping Your Company Goals on Track. In today's presentation, we'll be covering how to track your company goals using OKRs and how to keep your employees motivated and in the loop. Most importantly, we'll also look at how we can help you do this from wherever your employees are working using our cloud-based solutions. So to start with, I'd just like to introduce myself and my colleague. For those of you who don't know us, I'm Harriet Bosher and I'm the marketing manager at Apogee HR. My colleague Megan Watkins is also with me.
Hi, I'm Megan and I'm a customer success executive at Apogee HR.
So for those of you who might not be familiar with what we do here at Apogee HR, we're an HR software company providing a range of cloud-based solutions to support people management for SMEs. We've currently got over 800 happy customers in over 50 countries, and we've got just over a decade of experience in helping companies to manage their HR requirements from wherever they're working. I'd like to take this opportunity just to thank you for joining us today and provide you with a quick overview of what we'll be covering in the session. So I'll start the presentation by giving you a little background on what OKRs are and a little bit about their history. Then I'll talk more about why the OKR methodology is so popular, including just a few of the key benefits. Next, I'm going to touch on motivation. It's a key topic during long-term periods of remote working, and OKRs really lend themselves well to help keeping your staff motivated and engaged. We'll then move on to the demo portion of the presentation, where Megan will take you through how to create company, team, and personal goals in-app. Keeping track of your progress is also key, so she'll then go through how to monitor your goals and update your key results in our software. She'll also show you shout-outs, which is one of the great features to help motivate your staff. And then just before our Q&A, she'll go through goal insights. So to start off with, I just want to give you a little bit of background on OKRs and what they are. So OKR is an acronym for Objectives and Key Results, which is a goal-setting framework for defining and tracking objectives and their outcomes. The objective is a clearly defined goal, while the key results are the specific benchmarks to ensure achievement of that goal through concrete, specific, and measurable actions. The idea behind OKRs really started to take shape in 1954, when Peter Drucker invented management by objectives, or MBO. Then in 1968, Andy Grove co-founded Intel. And while he was CEO there, he developed Drucker's MBO into OKRs, which we use today. John Dewar joined Intel in the mid-70s, and this is where he first learned of them. And then in 1999, he joined Google and transferred his OKR knowledge to them. Finally, other organizations, including Amazon, Netflix, Dell, and Samsung, began to pick up on them throughout the 21st century. So OKRs are known to be used by these high-flying Silicon Valley companies, such as the ones I just mentioned, but they are also a very relevant way for SMEs to track whether company objectives have been met, or at least nearly met, by using measurable key results. So when creating your OKRs, the idea is to create aspirational objectives, which should be something for your staff to reach, which can inspire and motivate them. Then your key results will be how you plan on getting there. Therefore, when setting your OKRs, make sure you're able to link the objective to a quantifiable results. Most companies set around 4 company objectives and link this to between 3 to 5 key results each, but that may differ depending on your business. So when implementing OKRs, you need to do so with transparency in mind. And these OKRs should be created with team members with the intention of providing all staff with visibility of goals, with the intention to align and focus their efforts. OKRs are typically set at company, team, and personal levels, allowing for each team or employee to see how they're contributing to company success. Overall, it's a great way to help encourage employees to each do their part in helping the company, which I will now go into more detail on. So entrepreneurs state that over 80% of small business owners confess to not tracking their company goals. And not tracking them means that it's likely your employees and managers aren't keeping them top of mind when prioritising their work. This is particularly true during periods of remote working, where without regular communication and tracking of measurable goals, their motivation could be limited and they could be getting sidetracked. So that really kicks off our first benefit. It allows you to define clear objectives. So according to research, simply writing down goals and regularly checking in to review them actually gives companies a 95% higher chance of achieving desired outcomes. The OKR methodology actually lends itself to this very well, and Megan will take you through the best way to do this in more detail shortly. Another key benefit of OKRs is that they allow you to not only track your company objectives, but also allow you to link them to measurable key results, allowing you to quantify your objectives to easily see where you're finding success and what areas need improvement. From a management perspective, by seeing if your goals are on track to be completed by the end of the month or quarter, this can also help you to see which departments or members of staff could do with more personal encouragement. That then leads to more valuable leadership, helping both your managers and employees work better together. This also links in well with teamwork, helping each team or individual staff members work together to achieve a company goal. For example, so you may want a company goal to be something along the lines of create a healthy pipeline by the end of the quarter of 1,000 new prospects. So from this goal, you could specify some team goals and key results, i.e. that the marketing team needs to bring in, say, 800 and the sales team 200. Underneath those, you can then add key results which are specific to the number of prospects required from each event, potentially, or maybe social media post, just as some examples. So this then aligns, in this case, sales and marketing efforts to achieve your original company goal. You could also potentially drill down further here to create personal goals for specific team members. So next is that they also help organisational culture. Part of putting together OKRs and working towards them is having regular check-ins. And what really cannot be underestimated is the organisational culture impacts that having these more regular OKR-influenced conversations can bring. Gallup finds that the most successful organisations are those that deeply and authentically create a culture of performance development. In these organisations, managers shift from being a boss to being a coach. This promotes a more collaborative and highly focused working environment. Finally, you can use them to motivate your employees, which I will now go through in more detail on the next slide. So here are some of the ways OKRs can help motivate your staff. So this first one is just to reiterate what I've already mentioned. Simply having goals can help motivate and engage your employees more by having a specific direction with measurable outcomes for them to work towards. A recent survey by one US company using OKRs found their staff were 6 times more engaged than the average worldwide employee. And as we covered in our previous live broadcast, high employee engagement can lead to an undeniable amount of benefits. Secondly, make sure you create team and personal goals. By linking team goals and personal goals that connect all the way up to the top, i.e. your company goals, they automatically promote a feeling of employees being connected to the mission of a company too. In other words, employees develop an all-important sense of psychological buy-in. Far from being removed, even when they're working from home, they can see how their outputs contribute to the overall. So involving your employees in goal setting is also important. Making sure you listen to your employees and teams and involve them in setting these goals is very important to the success of using OKRs. Employees are 3.5 times more likely to be engaged if their manager involves them in goal setting for performance management purposes. This should be for team and personal goals, but also getting input on company goals is very important. So make sure you praise them too. So linked to this is the idea of shout-outs, which we covered previously in more detail in our last HR from Home broadcast. But linking this to OKRs, essentially because OKRs help employees understand their role and the ways in which they are valued by management and the company as a whole, there is a growing acceptance that regularly publicly praising achievements helps to provide a healthier and happier organisational culture, where every single contributor is recognised and even literally shouted out by management. Finally, make sure all employees can stay updated. Simply being transparent about what's going well within the business and what's not going well allows employees to feel more trusted. According to the Harvard Business Review, there are some outstanding figures on how trusting employees can help motivate them. So compared with people at low trust companies, people at high trust companies report 74% less stress, 106% more energy at work, 50% higher productivity, 76% more engagement, and 40% less burnout. Each and every one of those stats shows that trust is key to motivating employees to reach their goals. Therefore, during periods of remote working, well, you need to make sure your goals are visible and accessible from wherever your employees are working. I'm now going to pass you over to Megan, who's going to take you through a demonstration of our goals module, available on its own or as part of our HR success package, and this can help you keep your company goals on track. Over to you, Megan.
Thanks, Harriet. So as Harriet mentioned, Goals is available as a standalone product in its own right, but it's also available in our Apogee HR success package, where it sits under the performance section, which is what I'm going to show you in this demo. I'm logged in again as Emma, the CEO. I'm going to start by showing you how to create a goal. Let's use Harriet's example from earlier. So the company goal is 1,000 new prospects. Let's go with a team goal that then links into this. So we can use the sales team as an example, and we can do generate 200 new leads. Obviously, we're going to mark this as a team goal, and we can now select the sales team as being the owner. There's some initial permissions here that we can change if we need, but I'm just going to leave them as is. The goal duration here has a variety of pre-configured durations, but if you need, you can make them as long or as short as you like. Finally, in the creation process, we're just going to align this to the goal that we spoke about, the company goal here. So that's the one we want. And then we're going to create the goal. So once it's been created, we can see that the goal is now in draft mode, and Adam, the sales manager, has been added to the share list, so we can collaborate during the creation process. On here, I'm going to add some key results so we can build up our OKR. So for example, let's do 100 leads from email campaigns as an example. The format here can be however you need. You can configure this list if you like. It can have any metric, but this one is just numeric with a base value of 0 and a target value of 100. And let's just do another really simple one, 100 leads from outbound calls. Again, it's going to be numeric with a target value of 100. But like I say, you could change this and configure the metrics as you see fit. So now that I've built up my goal, I've got my objective and I've got my key results, I'm going to request some feedback from Adam. So obviously he's the sales manager, so he needs to confirm that he is happy with this. Share it with Adam. And then once he's confirmed that he is happy with the goal and the key results, that can be submitted for approval. And once approved, the sales team can get on and work on it. So now on to viewing and tracking goals. There's various ways that you can view your company goals, but we'll start with the alignment view, as this shows how goals are linked to one another and enforces transparency across the company. We can see here that the company goals are there at the top, but if we expand these, we can then see the team goals and then expand again, and we can see the personal goals there. Each goal type is easily distinguishable by the color coding, and we can see the general progress indicated by the blue horizontal bar across the middle and the goal owners, whether that's the whole company, a team, or an individual. Goals don't necessarily have to cascade in a top-down formation like this one. You could have personal goals linked directly to company goals, for example. However, this alignment view is key for transparency, so your employees can see how the work they're doing as individuals or in a team can have a wider impact on the overall performance of the company. So let's go into this company goal first and see how that's made up. So as Harriet said, and what we saw earlier in the goal creation, that the OKR methodology is made up of your aspirational and inspirational objectives, so where you want to go, which is the top here, the title, and then our key results, which is how you're going to get there. So we can see that 2 of the 3 key results have been updated in this company goal, and that shows the progress, which means that the overall goal is on track here, and the percentage complete is reflected to show this. I'm just going to update one of these key results here, just to show you how simple it is. So let's say we've now generated 2 more reviews, so we'll make that 22, and we'll update that. So the progress of this key result has been updated, and the overall progress of the goal has also been updated, and a timeline entry has been added to this timeline on the right to document that that has been added. So the timeline down the right will show anybody who has access to the goal every update, whether that's key result updates or check-ins and shout-outs. And there's also the goal progress over time chart, which shows you how the goal is progressing since it started. Goals can be shared with individuals, teams, or the whole company, depending on how you choose to configure the system. So let's now take a look at a different view. I'm going to filter to Sophia, and view what goals she collaborates on. There's various filters across the top, which will allow me to view different goals depending on their status. So this gives employees complete transparency over goals, which may still be in the creation stages, so these draft and pending filters here, as well as any previous goals that have expired or any upcoming goals for the future. But for now, we're going to look at all the current goals that Sophia is working on right now. Company, team, and personal goals all show in here, including other colleagues' goals that Sophia is helping out with. We can immediately see from this view any goals which may be blocked or at risk. For example, this one of George's here. This might have been flagged as at risk due to a change in priority, a problem with a supply chain, or an absent employee, etc. The reasoning behind this has been documented in the timeline so everybody can see and they have full visibility of that. There's also an option to notify specific people or every collaborator when submitting these updates, so everybody is kept in the loop the whole time. So let's take a look at this sales team goal, which is currently on track, improve effectiveness of sellers. So as with the company goal, it's made up of the objectives and key results. We can also see the alignment on the right here, so the other goals that this one links to. In the timeline, we can see all updates, the most recent being from Adam, the sales manager, who has requested a check-in from the team to update the key results more frequently. And we can see that that has gone to Sophia and George. So they'll have had an email and an alert in the panel. The timeline will show every update and any shout-out. Both check-ins and shout-outs are important for keeping your employees informed as well as engaged, especially if they're working from different locations. At the bottom as well, there's also a section for tasks and initiatives. Now, these are supplementary activities for the team to do in order to achieve the goals. Let's update one now to show that one of them has been completed. And this will highlight to everybody on the goal that this has been done, is now documented in the timeline. Then we can submit a shout out to the team for completing that task. So let's do it for Sophia. As Emma is the CEO, it's important for her to make sure that her employees are fully engaged in their work. And this shout out is a great example of doing just that. So finally, we're just going to look at the insights page. This is where you can review all important data regarding your goals and whether anything needs to be actioned. So if there are any stale goals that might not have been updated recently, any goals that are still in the approval process, maybe some that have been rejected. There's also the positives as well. So any shout outs that have been submitted in the last 30, 60 and 90 days, as well as the recently updated goals here. This page is key for company directors and managers to keep on top of all of the important things that are going on with goals and ensure all employees are contributing to them, as well as being consistently engaged, no matter where they're working from. So that concludes my demo. I'll just hand you back over to Harriet now.
Thank you, Megan. So we do offer a wide range of HR solutions to suit your needs, and I just wanted to go through them in brief here, but we do have more information on our website in case you're keen to find out more. So our Apogee Leave product covers simple online employee self-service absence management with manager approval, allowing you to track and report on who is off sick, working from home, or any other kinds of absence. Apogee HR comes in 2 packages. Our Apogee HR Essentials package provides you with core HR functionality and leave management, while Apogee HR Success is our more comprehensive package for advanced HR management. So that has a lot of valuable features, including OKR management and goal tracking, which we went through today. Finally, if you're looking for company goals management using the OKR method alone, we can provide you with Apogee Goals as a standalone product as well. So just before we move on to questions, if you'd like to try any of our HR solutions for yourself, you can head to www.apogeehr.com/trial and select your preferred solution. Your trial will be available to you for free for 14 days, and you don't need a credit card to try us out, and there's no obligation to purchase after your trial has ended. If you'd prefer to go through a more personalised demonstration to see how we can suit your specific requirements, head over to our website, www.apogeehr.com, and follow the button on our homepage to request a demo. If you're not quite ready to try us yet but would like to stay in touch, you can follow our social media channels. We're very active on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook, where we promote videos, blogs, infographics on a regular basis. So this was the final in our series, HR from Home. We hope you enjoyed hearing about how you can still continue your people management during periods of remote working. If you missed any of these and would like copies of the recordings, please let me know. So you can email me at hbosher@apogeehr.com, or you can get in touch with any member of the team. So thank you again for attending today. If there's anything we can help you with, please do get in touch with us. So we're now going to just leave our broadcast open for the next 5 minutes, just in case you have any questions, as we have a member of our team on hand to respond live. If you'd prefer to contact us via email or phone, our details are now on the screen. So thanks again.